All right, let me hit you with a number that should terrify Washington. 40% of American women aged 15 to 44 want to leave the United States permanently.
And guess where they want to go? Canada. Because when your rights are under attack, your healthcare is a roulette wheel, and your government feels like an escape room designed by drunk raccoons, suddenly the border looks pretty inviting.
And that's exactly the moment Mark Carney steps in, because while millions of Americans are looking for the off-ramp, he's paving it. The $1.7 billion talent strategy isn't for tourists, it's for doctors, nurses, researchers, and innovators who are suddenly asking, do I really want to build my future in the USA?
Yeah, this isn't immigration. This is a strategic extraction operation, and Canada's running it like a heist. And let's be honest, Canada has basically become America's emergency exit, because millions of Americans are looking up north like they've just spotted the lifeboat leaving the Titanic.
And let's be clear, it's not just any Americans. According to a brand new Gallup poll, 40% of American women aged 15 to 44 say they want to leave the United States permanently. That's your doctors, your researchers, your startup founders, your entire future workforce.
And here's the part that Trump won't want you to hear. 19% of men in the same age group feel the same way. So even the so-called bro culture he thinks he owns, they're quietly Googling U-Haul rates.
When nearly 1 in 5 young men wants out and 4 in 10 young women, 40% wanting out is the kind of statistic governments like Trump's pretend don't exist.
And here's the part that is really interesting. That 40% isn't a blip. It's quadruple what it was a decade ago. Back in 2014, only 10% of younger women wanted to leave. Today, it's 40%. That's not a trend. That's an exodus forming.
And it's not happening anywhere else. Younger women in other wealthy countries, well, they're steady. It's only in the US where that number shot up like someone hit the panic button.
And the confidence numbers line up. Younger American women have seen the biggest collapse in trust in government, the courts, the military, even elections. When that many people lose faith in the institutions holding the country together, they don't stick around to see how the story ends.
And where do they want to go? Well, Canada, of course. Because if you're a doctor, a scientist, a nurse, a coder, a researcher, the US has turned itself into one of the most hostile work environments on the planet. While Canada's over here rolling out the red carpet and handing out welcome bags.
And if you're wondering where else they consider, well, England, Japan, Ireland, and Switzerland make the list. And hey, Dave and I, we've been to them all, and they rock too. Good choices, everyone. But let's talk about what really pushed this whole migration trend into overdrive. It's Trump's new H1B Visa Fee.
Yep, this all kicked off when Donald Trump slapped a $100,000 fee on new H1B visas. You know, the work visa that literally holds up America's innovation economy.
But before we go any deeper, let's explain what the H1B visa actually is. Because everyone talks about it like it's a luxury item. Well, it's not. It's the backbone of America's skilled labor market.
H1B visas are for specialty occupations. That's doctors, biomedical researchers, software engineers, epidemiologists, AI developers, university faculty, the exact people that you want in your country if your goal is to, not collapse.
And what did it cost before Trump decided he needed to restock the gold leaf in his marble bathroom? Well, it was roughly $1,600 to $6,500 depending on the employer size. It's annoying, but it's not sell a kidney annoying to keep up with Trump's interior decorating levels.
And now, a $100,000 surcharge slapped on with zero warning, which triggered immediate lawsuits from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and healthcare networks who basically said, hello, we literally need those people to run our hospitals.
Because here's the thing about H-1B visa holders. They're not foreign workers taking jobs. They fill the jobs Americans don't have enough people for, and they create new ones with patents, startups, and research breakthroughs. So when Trump dropped that six-figure visa bomb, he didn't just send a message. He put up a billboard that said, "Attention, smart people, you're not welcome here."
And right on cue, Mark Carney steps in with that signature, "Don't worry, I've already run the numbers" kind of energy, and says, "Great, we'll take them, all of them."
Carney's first budget includes a massive $1.7 billion for the International Talent Attraction Strategy.
Think of it as Canada's global talent magnet. Quiet, powerful, and very deliberate.
It includes a fast-track pathway specifically for H1B holders, funding for labs and research institutes, 1,000 new global researchers, credential support, and a national plan to build what experts are already calling CDC North.
And yes, this is 100% deliberate. Coverage in India literally called it the escape route for skilled workers fleeing Trump's $100K visa fee. Canada saw an opening and Carney kicked the door clean off the hinges.
And honestly, with those Gallup poll numbers, you can't blame them. If 40% of U.S. women of reproductive age want out and 20% of all Americans say the same, something is deeply wrong. These people aren't looking for better weather. These people are saying, my rights feel unsafe, my career feels unstable, and my government feels unhinged.
And just to be clear, Carney's plan isn't only aimed at Americans. It's for the entire world. It just so happens that right now the biggest wave of people looking for the door is coming from the US. And the group running fastest toward the border? Well, it's doctors and nurses.
So let's talk about the medical brain drain specifically, because this is where things get very interesting. British Columbia launched a $5 million recruitment campaign targeting doctors and nurses from Washington, Oregon, and California. It literally shows a woman in scrubs watching the US chaos on the news. It's followed by a voice saying, if you want to care for others in a place that cares about you, come to BC.
Call it what it is, a medical intervention. And it's working. The Medical Council of Canada reported a 718% increase in U.S. medical graduates verifying credentials to move north. Let that sink in. 718%. Ooh.
Meanwhile, provinces are jumping like Canada Post just delivered a package on time. Ontario, BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba. They've all streamlined licensing for U.S.-trained doctors and nurses. You're U.S. board certified? Great! Welcome to Canada, and you can start on Monday.
One province even said, you can work for 6 months before we finish that paperwork. That's how desperate and frankly how smart the strategy is. Manitoba is out there telling American medical workers, hey, want affordable housing and life where ER patients aren't carrying AR-15s? We've got you.
And the Canadian Medical Association is begging Ottawa to make this a national strategy because Canada has a shortage of 23,000 family doctors. And Trump, he just handed us the solution gift-wrapped in chaos and lawsuits.
Now let's zoom out a little bit. Carney isn't just running a poaching operation. He's building the entire ecosystem to hold this influx. Biomanufacturing, life sciences, a pandemic readiness agency, research infrastructure, nation-building megaprojects, and the One Canadian Economy Act. It's a whole strategic realignment of Canada's economic brain.
And just to clear this up, Carney's talent strategy is global. It's built to attract researchers, scientists, innovators, doctors, nurses, engineers from anywhere in the world.
The only US-specific piece is the fast-track lane for people already on American H1B visas. That's the visa the US gives to highly skilled workers, the people powering hospitals, labs, tech firms, universities, and startups.
So Canada's door is open worldwide, but the shortcut just happens to pick up a lot of people who are already in the USA.
And the reason this wave is happening becomes obvious when you look at what's going on inside the US health and science system. While Trump is busy firing vaccine advisory committees, gutting the CDC, hollowing out NIH, attacking reproductive rights, and taxing America's smartest immigrants, well, Carney's basically handing out lab coats and house keys.
And if you're one of the millions of Americans, women and men, looking at your future and thinking, no thanks, Canada's pitch is brutally simple. Bring your research, bring your skills, bring your family, and we'll fund you. We'll process you, and we'll give you the rights you don't have to fight for.
Nobody should mistake this for charity either. This is strategic brain drain, and it's one of the smartest moves that Canada has made in decades. Canada has always complained about losing talent to the US. Well, guess what? That conveyor belt just reversed direction, and it's moving fast.
So where does this go? Well, even if a tiny slice of those H1B workers jump north, even if a fraction of those 40% of young American women and 20% of the men follow through, Even if a handful of those doctors take BC or Ontario up on their offer, well, Canada wins the talent war. The innovation goes up, healthcare stabilizes, universities surge, and the productivity gap, it actually narrows.
Meanwhile, Trump's busy declaring victory for protecting American jobs, while America hemorrhages its own future. You can't run a 21st century country by scaring off the exact people you need to build it.
But hey, his loss is our mortgage-approved, lab-funded, fully licensed gain, and Canada just pulled off the politest heist in modern history.
And the best part? Trump is doing half the work for us. Thanks, Donald.
So yeah, Canada's building the future while Trump charges $100,000 for permission to exist. Classic Trump.
You can say that again. And hey, if you want more of this chaos therapy, hit subscribe and join the A-Team, the only political group chat where your blood pressure actually drops.
Substack's where we drop all the deep dives, merch is where you get all the sass, and liking this video tells the algorithm that you've got taste.
All right, team, drop a comment, hit share, and remember, brain drain isn't a threat when you're the country everyone's draining to.
Excellent point. See you next time, everyone.
Thanks for watching.